welcome to another speed build. So today I am building in the new world of Tartosa that we got in the My Wedding Stories game pack that was released last week. I did do a little gameplay video with it on Friday, I think, and it was interesting. I don't really know what I expected. I didn't expect it to be 100% working, but I wasn't quite expecting it to be quite as funny as it was, because I did have a lot of fun playing it though, even though it didn't quite go to plan. But then my Sims weddings have never gone to plan, so I don't know what I expected, like I said. But anyway, I haven't really had a look through the build buy items, which generally is my first kind of go-to thing. Is the first thing I do when we get a new pack is go straight into the build buy and have a look at all the different things. But I had an idea of what I wanted to do with the game pack, because it is a game pack, so I wanted to actually play it, so my idea with that was that I would make one of my families relive the wedding that they never had, because they got married very, very quickly at the romance festival, because they had the whole inheritance phone call thing. But anyway, I wanted to go back and get them married properly, which I said that I was going to do when I originally started playing them, and then I just never got around to it. But anyway, and so I didn't really get to look into the build buy straight away. And when I started building this, I was kind of picking things out of the menu that I hadn't seen before and was playing around with it. So I was just looking as I was building. So some of it's a little bit kind of choppy, but I do really love the items. So I had plans of building a really big family villa or a rental lot or something, which I will do eventually. But I was looking through the rules for the game challenge that I'm playing, and the next generation is the lover generation. So I'm playing the differences in the family tree challenge, and that's the family that I used in my last video. And the next generation is the lover generation. So he will have the Villainous, Valentine, and the serial romantic aspirations. And I originally was going to move him to Sulani. In my last video, he's a teen Roman, so I'm not going to be moving him anytime soon, but this was my kind of idea. And I thought Sulani would be a really good place for me to play with his generation, because he's meant to be a mixologist and a DJ and live a relatively carefree life with all of these different Sims that he has a romantic relationship with. And when we got this world, I was looking through it and watching everyone's videos, touring it, and explaining all the different places that you can go and the general vibe of the world, and it just screamed Roman at me, to be honest. It was just perfect for him, because I thought he can work as maybe a freelance mixologist or a freelance DJ for all of the different weddings that are going to be coming to this world. And there's going to be so many Sims that he can meet, all of the bridal party, all of the groomsmen, bridesmaids, Sim of honor, maybe even the officiant. I mean, who knows? No Sim is going to be turned down with Roman. I mean, he wants all of the Sims. So and I thought this was the perfect place for him to live, because that is basically, the whole world is just so romantic that it's him. So this house is most likely going to be for him, unless I build something in the meantime and change my mind. But I have built this with him in mind. So it is a 2-bedroom house with a relatively large entertaining space out the back. There's the pool, there's a bar underneath this little canopy area. I was originally looking through some of the base game items that we had, and the bar that kind of spoke to me the most was the tiki bar. It doesn't quite match with the wood tones that I wanted, but it matched with the personality. And I put a couple of these garden planters out here because I thought maybe he could grow his own grapes for nectar, and maybe some other things, maybe like some strawberries, and he can serve chocolate covered strawberries to a sim that he has brought back home or something. And you know, I was trying to make it more of like a bachelor pad, but somewhere that eventually when he does have kids, then they can live here too. So I wanted to use as many of the items from the new pack as I possibly could. I originally was planning on doing only wedding stories and base game, but there was too many things in other packs that I wanted to use. I kept on getting like sparks of inspiration, and I was like, oh, I can use this, and oh, I can use that, and then realized it was from like Jungle Adventure or from Get Together or from Island Living, even Strangerville. And I was like, oh, I can't really use any of those because I'm trying to keep it, you know, limited pack. And then thought, no, I don't want to restrict myself because it kind of puts a dampener on my creativity, I feel. Sounds a bit dramatic to say that, but you know, I kind of don't have as much motivation to build when I'm trying too hard to keep it limited, especially when I was getting so excited about this when I was building it. So I thought, no, I'm just gonna build what I want, and then maybe in the future I will look at doing a limited pack one. But this one, I've tried to be sensible and not use, you know, every single pack in existence, but I haven't limited myself. So if I particularly wanted to use something and I couldn't find an alternative, then, you know, I just used it. And with the landscaping, I'm pretty sure I have used mostly base game items. These ones are, the wisteria is from Cottage Living, and I think the other flowers, I'm not sure what they're called, are from Jungle Adventure. So these ones. We did get some debug ones in my wedding stories, but they're purple and I wanted to use the red ones. I tried with the purple, but it was just a little bit too much with the wisteria. I wanted it to be, you know, very bright and colourful. And then these little hanging things from Jungle Adventure are also, you know, nice and bright and colourful. I didn't want it to be too samey. The rest of these plants are all base game, I believe. I tried to use the ones that I could see in the world around this lot. So I'm hoping that I've used at least similar ones. But it kind of bothered me a little bit that there was so much space around the lot. So I think if I do end up using this lot, I will probably move some things with the tool mod just to kind of fill the gap in a little bit. I did ask on Twitter whether I should completely mirror this whole thing. The majority of people said no, but I don't know, I was torn because my mind, I want everything to be, you know, symmetrical and everything to line up really well and, you know, to look kind of balanced. But it just, when I mirrored it, I did completely rebuild it mirrored and it was like 2 tiles off being centered. The front door was 2 tiles off being centered with the bridge and that bothered me even more than having it on the other side completely. So hopefully that's okay that it's like this. I didn't really think about it before I started building, but yeah, mirroring it just didn't work. it bothered me too much, so I left it how it was. So hopefully that's okay. Moving on to the inside, I tried to keep this quite colourful. I did actually forget to change the wallpaper, so I do need to go back and do that before I upload it. I just wanted to change the colour of this wall in all of the rooms because I painted it all grey to begin with the intention of changing it and never actually changed it, so I need to do that before I upload it. I tried to keep the colour scheme quite kind of bright but at the same time I didn't want there to be any like colors that were a little bit too cool. So quite a lot of them are quite warm colors, oranges, reds, pinks, that sort of thing, because I thought, you know, it's quite it's for a lover sim or like a romantic sim. I mean, Roman's a minimalist. He doesn't like having stuff everywhere, but he likes to have things out that would impress people, if that makes sense. So like, he will purposely put out a bouquet of flowers if he knew that it was going to impress the sim that he was inviting round, or he would put a particular painting up if it was going to be, you know, a conversation piece, that sort of thing. So I didn't want there to be too much clutter. I wanted there to be just the right amount of items, you know. So it kind of, to be honest, looks like there's no personality in it, but he's still a teen, so I will add things, I think, as he gets older, as his personality kind of develops as he's a young adult. And the same with the child's room upstairs, because he doesn't actually have any kids. I mean, he's a teen, so he's not going to be having kids for a while. I didn't really know what to go with, so I just kind of went with a very generic kids room, but I will, you know, obviously redo that. I really liked what I did with this dining table. I did notice, completely beside the point actually, with the dining chairs, these ones are like 165, I think, and then the ones with the flowers on are only like 100. I don't know why the price is so different, and to be honest, I would have thought it would be the other way around, like more expensive with the flowers on the back, but I was a bit confused because for a while I couldn't find them and then realized they were like halfway down the catalogue because they were so much more expensive. But I wanted to use this tea tray and the new little love seats that we got with the pack, but I don't know whether the colour is quite what I was imagining. I wanted to use all dark woods, and the pattern on the other ones I didn't really think suited this house, so it looks a little bit strange. But I do go with more like pinky furniture in the lounge room, so I think it ties in the end, but for now it looks a bit odd. So I go with these this sofa and the armchair from the movie Hangout. I was unsure because it's very pink, and I wasn't really sure whether it would suit his personality, but to be honest, I think it actually suits him really well. I tried so hard to get this rug to work and I wanted to use it so much, but I just couldn't get it to work. I tried it in like 3 different rooms. I think in the end I put it in the kids' room in the black and white swatch, or like the grey swatch. I tried so hard and I just could not get it to work. In the end I went with this one from City Living. It kind of matches the cushions on the sofa, so I'm quite pleased with it. Like you said, the wood swatches aren't really cohesive throughout the whole build. Some of them are slightly off, some of them quite a lot off, like with this archway and the desk, so I do need to go and change them. There's certain things that you don't really notice whilst you're building, and then when you go back in edit and you watch the video, when you're doing the voiceover, you're like, oh, I need to change that. Oh, I need to change that. And this little coupon that I put on this table, it just does like a little clutter piece. I moved the desk over and then it's under the lamp, and I didn't notice until I was editing and realized that I needed to go back and change it. So when you if you go to download this, it will be moved. It's not going to stay under the lamp. I tried it again in here and then went with a Discover University rug because I thought the colors kind of matched. So I wanted this easel to be out here because I thought it was a really good place to get a nice painting of the lighthouse. I'm not sure whether the easel is actually in the right place to get that shot, but that was my idea. So I thought it would be you know, a nice place to do some painting, especially of the shoreline and the beach and everything. I thought it was really lovely. When it came to the wall decorations, like the paintings and things, I was really stuck on what to include, because when I'm playing with a family, I take lots of pictures, so most of the walls are filled with photographs of my Sims, so I don't really use any of the in-game pictures that much, so I was really stuck on what to put up. So some of them don't really look right to me, they kind of look a little bit strange. But obviously with me playing in this house, my intention is to replace them with photos when my Sims actually move in, so they weren't really something I was particularly thinking about, but I did want to put something on the wall so that, you know, when I upload it, it's not completely empty. I have to admit though, it is very expensive for embarrassingly expensive actually for the size of house it is. I think it's like 50 grand without any of the interior furnishings. That's just the outside, and I think it's probably because of the amount of plants and things I've used on the outside. I originally was planning on using like mostly debug wisteria and things, but then it does that weird vibrating thing that I don't like when you're actually playing, and it doesn't disappear when you put the walls down, whereas like the in-game ones do. So it's kind of, which do you prefer? You know, do you want the cheap ones that aren't really right for playing the game, or you go with the ones that are made for gameplay but then they're expensive? So, you know, it's a tough decision, but for me personally, playing, I prefer not to have weird vibrating wisteria whilst I'm trying to get my Sims to cook dinner. But anyway, moving into the kids room, like I said, this one doesn't really have very much personality because this Sim isn't even born in the game yet, so I don't really know what they're going to be like. But generation 5, this child is the big happy family generation, so this Sim was going to have a lot of kids. So I thought, you know, they're going to be well, to be honest, I don't really know, because they're allowed to have a job and stuff, so we'll see what the game decides for them. But it's just a generic kids room, to be honest. But yeah, we are coming to the end of today's video, so I really hope that you like this house. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.
Figure you out now. I see your blue. There is so much cold in you, and the silence is so loud when you go. I just stay dancing with my shadow all day. Watch the time. I can't find the point where our two pass the line, but you're the night sky. I'm trying to see your stars. Heart makes no sound. I'll find valid in your eyes.